Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 grand, Ross with The Rock Never Stops. I want to do this video on the Dallas Mavericks versus the San Antonio Spurs. If you enjoy this video, smash that like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Look, the NBA season is back. It's here. And I think we saw last night two teams that have been slept on. We saw the Dallas Mavericks take on the San Antonio Spurs, and I think it is clear that both of these teams are far better than most have given them credit for. You see, what I saw, and I think I've been seeing this since the offseason, is they had one of the best off seasons of any team. I think them missing the playoffs last year, all the pundits and all the ESPN critics who just want to have a quick line to say and get everybody on it, was throwing out this blasphemous, the Dallas Mavericks, are going to be lucky to make the playoffs, or they're not that good, or just not talking about them altogether, not remembering they have two superstars, two bona fide, legitimate superstars, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. And what they did was they surrounded them with defensive players who can shoot. And then they went out and drafted Derek Lively. Now, I think a lot of people saw him, and for those of us who were following the draft, knew that Lively was a talented, extremely talented big man. He was somebody that a lot of us were excited about and were saying like, yo, he could be something special, but we don't think he's quite ready. That was the conversation around Derek Lively. But what we've seen, and I think we should have trusted it, listening to Jason Kidd, head coach Jason Kidd, who was saying, yo, he's going to have a chance to compete for the starting position. And then midway through the offseason was like, yeah, he's going to be starting, and then we'll just see how it goes. And I think what we saw in this first game is he's every bit legit the starting NBA center. He's young, he's athletic, he's spry, but more than anything, his awareness and his IQ on the defensive end and the offensive end is far beyond where we thought he was coming out of Duke. Now, it's funny because a lot of guys who come out of college, this is a common sentiment. We rarely get to see a lot of their skill on display. And sometimes it takes guys a while to develop. And I think that that's probably the case for Derek Lively to a large degree. But what I want to point out is this man was absolutely wrecking havoc. He reminded me of a taller but young Clint Capella. He knew where to be on the pick and rolls. He was defending the rim at an extremely high level. His hands looked great. They were soft. They were catching everything. It helps also playing with a veteran team that knows how to get you the ball in the right places. But the Dallas Mavericks have found them their starting center for the future. And it's not a second too soon, because this team was bereft of an interior presence who could hold up throughout an NBA season and potentially into the playoffs. And when you can start him, instead of having to start Dwight Powell at center, it completely reshapes your defense. It reshapes how you look at your depth. And having that type of a big who is a defensive specialist to a large degree kind of reminds me of like a Nerlens Noel, right? Very aware, talkative, moves his feet extremely well, great hands, great finisher around the rim. And when you combine that with guys like Josh Green, Grant Williams, Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell, when you combine that with wings and players who play defense at a high level, it only amplifies his defense. And I think what we're going to see is a Dallas Mavericks team who is going to be fighting tooth and nail every step of the way. And they're going to have a chance to beat just about anybody, because with Luka and Kyrie, they're one of the greatest shot makers in the NBA. 2 out of the top 5 for sure. But here's the other side of it. The San Antonio Spurs. Look, kudos, shout out to head coach Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs organization. Yes, they were tanking every step of the way for Victor Wembanyama, and they got him. But they tanked the right way. They invested in their younger guys, and they made sure that the young guys, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, right, Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Jeremy Sohan, they made sure that these young guys were playing the game the right way, every step of the way, knowing that they may not have had enough talent to win, but they were going to develop the skills and the tools to be able to win when it was time. And with Victor Wembanyama, it is now time to win. This team was competitive. They looked like the moment was not too big for them. They were not scared. They were not timid. They felt just as talented as any team out there. And even though Victor Wembanyama got into foul trouble, you saw the moment he got back in towards the middle of the fourth quarter, right around the 9-minute and change mark, he was not shy about taking over in the moment. The moment was not too big. He looked like he knew it was his time. He'd been on the bench. He knew his team needed him, and he was ready. He came in, first thing he did, hit a three. Wow. Got a block. Got a rebound. Got a putback. Got a dunk. And his imprint on the game in that fourth quarter was nothing short of what we expect from superstar players. What he was able to do was he was able to offset the scoring prowess and the leverage of two superstar players for the Dallas Mavericks with his presence alone. That is something only the best players are able to do. You can get one, bet I can get one too. And even if I can't get one, I can create one for somebody else. There was even a move that Victor Wembanyama did where he actually spun into the lane, got in front of the rim, and then he kicks it out in the air, and it was a turnover. But I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, man, if I'm his coach, I'm saying to him, when in doubt, just shoot it. Because if you're 5 to 8 feet in front of the rim, jumping in the air, that's a layup. That's a little push shot. That's a floater. And for you, where nobody can block your shot, that is a better shot opportunity for us than you trying to force a pass to someone else. I think both of these teams are going to be in it all the way. You know, as always, health pending, right? But it's to say that these two teams are going to be here. And I know that we have, high hopes for other teams like Oklahoma City and the New Orleans Pelicans. And look, I'm going to be honest. The NBA is going to be a dogfight night in and night out, every single night. No one's getting a game off. I even think the Portland Trail Blazers are going to be right there. Scoot is going to get his legs under him, and they're going to be right there in the mix. Unless you're facing the Washington Wizards, who aren't going to play defense, it's not going to matter. You're going to have to come with your A game. You are going to have to be locked in and ready for a fight because there's a very small margin for error when it comes to winning these games. Look at the Detroit Pistons, who just lost to the Miami Heat, and you look at how that game started. A couple missed layups, a few too many turnovers, lost the game by, I think, 3 or 4. Right? The margin for error is that small. Detroit won, 27 games last season? The Miami Heat were in the NBA Finals. 4-point difference on opening night. That's what the season is going to be. And I'm excited for it. As always, holler at me in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Try to be more consistent with these videos. Get at your boy. Peace.